Good morning, Andrea. Welcome to the doctor's clinic call. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Doc.
All right. Well, welcome to the call and thanks for being here. We hear more and more about this condition called leaky gut syndrome, don't we?
Yeah, and like years ago, nobody even knew what it was or talked about it. And I guess some people still don't really know what it is.
A lot of people really don't know what it is, and if they know what it is, they really don't know how to treat it, do they?
Right.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And so we've been spending the month talking about breast cancer because it's National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and and then we talked a lot about Super Omega because Super Omega has a lot to do with helping the body fight off cancer cells.
Yeah.
And that balance between good fat and bad fat has a lot to do with it. And there's a connection with the gut as well.
Oh, yeah. We've, over the last year or so, many of our calls, we've discussed the importance of the gut and how research is showing that it really is part of the control center of the body.
That's right. I think the gut and the health of the digestive system is probably one of the key components when you're dealing with a chronic health condition. If you don't get your gut fixed, you're not going to get the condition fixed, are you?
Right.
So anyhow, you just mentioned that a lot of people don't know what it is. So here's a couple of quotes that I found online. So Cleveland Clinic, Dr. Donald Kirby, he just says, physicians don't know enough about the gut, but they do admit that it's the big health system in the body. Then you have him saying leaky gut syndrome isn't a diagnosis taught in medical school. Instead, leaky gut really means you've got a diagnosis that still needs to be made. And so they're not using it as a diagnosis, right? They're using it as kind of a garbage can diagnosis. Gastroenterologist over at Johns Hopkins, we don't know a lot, but we know that it exists. It's no wonder you can't get proper treatment for it when the doctors can't even tell you what it is.
Right.
So I thought that would be a great opening slide, just because it just kind of positions us a little bit on the whole condition. And so when we look at the digestive system, what are the symptoms of leaky gut syndrome? Well, a lot of people, they actually have problems with the gut, things like gas and bloating, irritable bowel syndrome, things that, you associate with the gut.
Right.
But if you wouldn't know, like if you went to 90% of your friends, would they know that allergies and asthma is related to the gut?
I don't think so.
Not at all. How about PMS or polycystic ovary disease?
Nope.
How about autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's disease, lupus, psoriasis, celiac disease?
Nope.
Yeah, maybe celiac. They might associate that with the gut. Fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome?
No.
Marcia Schultz from down in Australia, from over in Brisbane, she had fibromyalgia. As soon as we got her gut fixed, it seemed like her fibromyalgia was gone.
That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am, it is. Depression, anxiety, ADD, ADHD, skin problems like eczema and rosacea, candida, food allergies, food sensitivities, immune system, arthritis, joint pain.
Yep, all of those things.
Yeah, so there's so many people that are suffering from all these diseases. They're taking painkillers. They're, getting joint replacements. They're doing this and then and they're doing that, but they're never taking the time to diagnose or fix their gut. So can they really have good health if they don't go after the gut?
Well, based on what we've been talking about all year, I would say that it is a key element to health.
It really is. It really is. If there's inflammation in the gut, there's going to be inflammation everywhere. And so when we're looking at it, when we're looking at it, you know, in the gut, if you could look at what it looks like inside there, imagine all of these cells being just squished together like sardines in a can.
Mm-hmm.
And those between the cells, or if you use my example, between the sardines, that space is filled up with the mucus layer.
Okay.
And what that mucus does, it's not just like a slimy stuff. It's actually part of your living body. It decides what can pass in and what can pass out.
Right.
So they call it a semi-permeable membrane.
Mm-hmm.
And so they found that things like gluten can cause the gut cells to release this protein called zonulin, which breaks that junction apart. It pulls the cells apart.
Ah, creates like a hole, or a hole in your fishnet kind of thing.
That's right. Yep. It blows a hole in the gut lining. And that causes what we call leaky gut syndrome. So then toxins, microbes, undigested food particles can pass through and get into your body. And then your immune system goes after it, thinking that it's foreign.
Right.
And it builds up memory cells and can cause problems that way. So a lot of people say, well, what's the main cause of leaky gut syndrome? And a lot of experts say that the main one is gluten. And they say that the gluten, it's like a shotgun. It blows holes in the gut, and then that causes the inflammation. And then it's creates this sensitivity to food like dairy and wheat and things like that.
Okay.
But you can also go ahead.
Well, along with that, didn't we discuss lectin at one point this winter?
Why don't you explain to people what lectins are as well?
Well, my understanding is that vegetables that are not completely ripe release lectin to fight off things eating them. And when we eat food that isn't completely ripe, that this lectin goes into our body and causes havoc. But I'm sure you have a better explanation than that.
No, that's really good. I mean, lectins are a substance that the plant puts on the seed or the fruit, and it's there to protect the plant, so that animals don't come by and eat the seed or the plant before it's fully ripe. That way, it can generate and regenerate more plants, and so if it's eaten before that, then it's not going to be ripe.
Right. So lectin has an effect on our intestinal system.
So lectins will actually cause problems with our intestinal system, just like the gluten. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, drugs, over-the-counter medications like Motrin, Advil, antibiotics, things like that. Even like these drugs that people take for, acid in their stomach, they contain toxins that'll cause problems as well.
Yeah. And, sometimes like a lot of people are not aware of that. They're just like popping Motrin or Excedrin or anything like all the time. Like I do everything I can to avoid ever having to take anything like that, like doing yoga poses, you're, pinching the skin between your finger and your thumb when you have a headache. I mean, just anything to not put that in my body. Yeah.
Well, even they found that a substance, a chemical from plastic can cause leaky gut syndrome.
BPA, yeah.
BPA, bisphenol A. And they line tin cans with that.
They do. And it's in all your portable water bottles, the cheap ones,
Yep.
It's in your kids' cereal bowls from China. I mean, you really have to pay attention to the exposure you get to BPA. And that's why, you'll see on like portable drinking glasses that it says BPA free.
Mm-hmm. Yep, even the plastic bottles that we use for our sizzle products, Tom makes sure that those are BPA free.
Yep, I know he does that.
Mm-hmm.
I save them in case I ever need BPA free drinking utensils.
There you go. Everybody gets a plastic sizzle bottle to drink out of.
Right.
But glyphosate, one of the newest ones to cause problems, you know, it's really dangerous, and it'll blow holes in the gut as well. They're saying that it might actually be the glyphosate that causes the problems, and maybe not so much the gluten.
Right. That's what I've heard too, is that, you know, everybody's out there freaking out about gluten, but really anything you get gluten in, also you're getting glyphosate.
Yeah, so that's some of the latest science on it. And so we don't have a really clear picture on it. So at this point, we just got to say, hey, folks, there's a lot of things that can cause leaky gut syndrome, even stress.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go back to glyphosate, because, you know, many people don't know, well, okay, they say that's bad. Where do I get that? We've covered that before. You can get it from soy products, corn products, wheat products. But if you really want to learn more about that, you can do a Google search and say, what processed foods have the highest amount of glyphosate? And the number one is Cheerios.
Yeah.
Number one product with glyphosate. And every mama in this country is giving her little learning how to eat baby Cheerios.
Yeah. Not good, is it?
No.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a number of things, like, well, I could name off certain chips, certain cookies, certain cereals. I mean, you just have to go do your research. And you're going to be surprised when you find out how many products actually have that at a high content.
That's right. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that causes it. Let's talk a little bit about how do we fix it?
Okay.
How do we fix it? You know, so I guess the way I look at it, the first thing you got to do is you got to kind of have an idea of what causes it. How can you fix it if you don't know what's causing it? For example, if you know that you're sensitive to gluten, Andrea, and you go through all the work of taking the right products to try and get your body to fix it, but you don't eliminate the gluten-containing products, are you ever going to get it under control?
No.
So you got to remove the bad stuff, figure out what's caused the problems, do an elimination diet, do an elimination lifestyle. You might have to do some detox. I suggest you do detox. And then what you want to do is you want to replace the bad stuff with good stuff. Add back in the essential ingredients for proper digestion and absorption, digestive enzymes, hydrochloric acid, bile acids, nutrients, all these different things. Replace that stuff back into the system. Mm-hmm. And then reinoculate. Put in the good bacteria to reestablish the healthy microbiome.
Right.
You know, because that's what helps with the semi-permeable membrane. And then repair. You got to repair the gut, and so inflammation is key when you're doing the repair. You got to get rid of the inflammation. So we'll talk a little bit about some of the products that I like to recommend when we're trying to heal leaky gut syndrome. So, you know, we can't say cure, we can't say treat, we can't say diagnose, any of those things. All we can say is that there is science on the active ingredients in some of our products that shows that it helps to, helps to support a healthy digestive system.
Right. And, you know, just for those people who are tuning in for the first time to our doctor's clinic call that happens every Tuesday, we do represent a company that has formulations of very effective products. So that's what you're talking about right now, is these sizzle products for repairing the gut.
Yeah. And if you're with another company, if you're using another company's product, I guess what I'm going to tell you is find a product that kind of fits in with the same thing that we're talking about. I like these products as a physician. I'm just going to say that this is how I look at it. Sizzle doesn't have everything, but when they do have something, it's the best product in the category.
Right.
I can't find anything better than that. So when we're talking about leaky gut syndrome or just supporting a healthy gut, maybe you don't have leaky gut. Like I don't have leaky gut, but I want to have a healthy gut. So I take these products for the same reason that you would if you had leaky gut. So fucoidan, the molecules, the brown seaweed molecules, they actually inhibit the production of pro-inflammatory biomarkers, which helps with acute and chronic gut problems. We talk a lot about inflammation. Inflammation is implicated in heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, all these different things, even cancer. Inflammation is one of the key components to chronic disease. So why wouldn't you want to do everything you can to get rid of the inflammation? That's where fucoidan comes in.
Right. I have fucoidan on hand all the time. And if I ever just happen to run out by accident, I have friends close to me that usually have an extra bottle of fucoidan. I'll go, hey, can I get that and order you another one?
Well, there you go. And you go snag a bottle from your friends. That's right. And, we've been talking a lot this month about Super Omega. I mean, wouldn't you say now, based on everything that we've talked about in the last 4 weeks, wouldn't you say that Super Omega is another one of those products that you want to make sure you never run out of? It's going to be right there alongside your fucoidan.
Right. And for anyone listening to this live presentation today, if you're led back to the Doctor's Clinic, Doc Viz with Friends Facebook page, you can scroll back and see the last 3 or 4 lives that we did on Tuesdays and gain that information for yourself. That's right.
Or you can go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/C/Sizzle World Team. And you can watch all the videos there too. I've posted them all there and cleaned them up a little bit. But yeah, Super Omega, it's so beneficial. And Andrea, we talk a lot about this, and I hope I've embedded it in your brain like a computer chip, that we have a problem in the Western diet, the standard American diet, whatever you want to call it, where we consume way too many omega-6s. And omega-6s are pro-inflammatory, and omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. But you need a certain amount of omega-6s because you do need some inflammation if you get sick, or if you have, if you get wounded, you get hurt in some way. So you do need to have inflammation there. You just want to make sure that you modulate it, that you control it. And so a healthy omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, somewhere in that range. The physicians and researchers have determined that's a healthy ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. And right now in our standard diet, they're saying that we're anywhere between 15 to 1 all the way up to 30 to 1 on our ratio, depending on who you're listening to.
Right.
And that's going to cause a problem. That's going to cause you to have a chronic low-grade inflammation all the time, which is going to be a major contributor in leaky gut syndrome. So fucoidan and Super Omega Plus are great for helping get rid of that inflammation. Then you have Super Detox. And what that does, it helps to restore. Remember, we were talking about the different things of correcting healthy gut. And you want to restore the healthy tissue lining and remove that mucoid plaque. How many pounds of mucoid plaque did they say that Elvis had?
I don't know about Elvis, but John Wayne, I think it was like 10 pounds.
No, it was more than that. It was like close to 70 pounds that John Wayne had.
70 pounds.
70 pounds of mucoid plaque.
Oh, that seems outrageous.
Yeah, it is. 70 pounds. Can you believe it? Well, of course you don't believe it. You think it's 10.
Well, if the man weighed, 250 pounds, he had 70 pounds of plaque in him?
That's what they're saying when they did an autopsy. And they're saying Elvis had 50.
Really? Well, he looked like he had some issues with his gut.
Yeah. So super detox, think of it like putting an oven cleaner in your gut, and you're cleaning up the mess. You know, like if you ever rented an apartment, you know, like I did back in college, and you know, whoever rented it before never cleaned the oven, there's all this baked on grime, and it's baked on. I mean, it's hard. It's hard as a rock, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Well, in your gut, that's what mucoid plaque is that's that baked on food, oils, whatever, that are baked on the sides of your intestinal lining.
So then it doesn't work. Like nothing can get through.
That's right. How can it work?
Right.
You know, nothing can get in or out. And then on top of it, it blocks, it can cause a blockage so that even your food, as it's going through the system, it gets stopped there.
Right.
And when it gets stopped, when it stalls the movement, it has a chance to start rotting and molding inside your gut. How'd you like to know you have rotting and molding food inside of you?
Ew, I probably do.
Well, more than likely.
We probably all do.
Yeah. And then on top of it, you know, you don't get your nutrients. So that's why I include Spectrum-X too, because Spectrum-X, it uses something called fulvic acid. We're going to talk a little bit about fulvic acid on the next slide, but you get the 74 essential trace minerals. Essential means that you have to have them. Your body can't make them. They're essential for life.
Yeah.
Trace means you don't need very much.
Yep. You got to have them.
And then you get 40 antioxidants, and you need those antioxidants to help reduce the free radicals. So then we talk about reinoculation, right? Putting the good stuff back in, putting the good bacteria back in. Balanced D, it has 525 billion colonies of healthy bacteria.
It's awesome. And FYI, you can't do that with a cup of yogurt.
That's right. And yogurt has the wrong kind, plus it's loaded with sugars that helps the bad bacteria. Right. But, you know, if you use unsweetened, a friend of mine makes her own homemade yogurt, and it's delicious. And she sweetens it with a little bit of honey, you know, homegrown honey, things like that. But you think about this 525 billion colonies that Tom has put into the Balanced D.
Right.
Most probiotics don't have that much of the healthy bacteria. You know, I've looked at them. Some of them have 500 million. We've got 525 billion.
That's great.
Plus, we've got the right healthy bacteria. Tom and I were having a little discussion last week on it, and I'm going to put together a little document on it. But we were having a discussion on the healthy bacteria, where a lot of them they'll use, you know, like the acidophilus. We've heard a lot about acidophilus, and they'll throw that in there, and it's not the only one.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, I learned about that, and it was like, that's the only one I knew of.
That's right. But that's the only one they had at the time. That's the only one that they'd identified. And you know, when in my clinic 20 years ago, there was 2 strains of healthy bacteria that I knew about. One of them came from the University of North Carolina. One of them was discovered at University in Nebraska. And those were the 2 healthy bacteria that I knew about. And now they know so much more.
Yeah, and you know, those bacteria, they have sex really fast and really often. So once you put it in there, they're just going to town.
Yeah, and they repopulate really quickly. The problem with it is if you have way too many, if you have an overgrowth of bad bacteria, the bad bacteria have established themselves. They think of it like, you know, like the Nazis during World War II. They've established that front line, and they're really good at taking out the good guys, and they don't allow them to come in.
Yeah, so you have a war going on in your gut.
You have a war going on down there all the time. So for Restore, did you know that that's a product for the gut?
I'm not sure that I did.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize it. Somebody asked me the other day, what all products would you recommend for a leaky gut syndrome? For Restore has something called L-glutamine, and that's an amino acid that's known to help the repair of the damage caused by leaky gut syndrome.
Okay, it's a rebuilder.
So it helps repair the damage. Yeah, and then Body Shield, I saved this for the last because Andrea, I believe so much in Body Shield. I give a good dose to my dog every day. I take a double dose of it every day. It's got fulvic acid, and what fulvic acid, not folic, don't think of folic acid, the B vitamin. This is fulvic acid. And fulvic acid is a ingredient that's found in dirt.
Uh-huh.
And you and I have talked a lot about this. I mean, boy, what was it? Was it back in April and May? We probably spent 3-4 weeks talking about this, maybe more than that.
Right. It's the compost for the body.
It's the compost for the body. Yeah. It's seaweed that's been decomposing for millions of years since back in the dinosaur days. And this seaweed is decomposed into dirt. It's just basically part of dirt. So when you find a part of the world, like here in the Red River Valley where I live, where it's healthy soil and you grow just tremendous crops up here, one of the reasons that we have such good soil is because of the fulvates. Because where I live right here in the Red River Valley, this used to be the bottom of the ocean floor.
Oh, okay.
And because of that, there was ancient seaweed that grew here and all these plants, and they decomposed and they created something known as fulvic acid. And fulvic acid is it's a miracle molecule is what the scientists and researchers are calling it, because it can take and it can go into the cell. It's small enough that it can pass through the cell lining and it can pull the bad stuff out.
Yes.
But at the same time that it's going in and it's pulling the bad stuff out, it's taking the good stuff and it's pulling it in. So it's like, think of it like a really good trucking service that, it's shipping good stuff in, and it's grabbing the bad stuff, pulling it out. Good in, bad out. And it's just doing that over and over and over. So it helps to nourish the digestive tract, and it boosts the ability of the good bacteria to repopulate. Think of it like the planes dropping food supplies to the soldiers during World War II, like they did down in Belgium, during World War II, and they dropped it in there and kept the soldiers alive, and that's basically what the fulvic acid does.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Good stuff. So 6 products or 7 products right there. You got the For Restore, you got the Body Shield, you got the Balance D, you've got the Super Detox, Super Omega Plus, Fucoidan, Spectrum Act. I mean, Andrea, all 7 of these products should be on every single order that you have.
Right. But not everyone can do that for their budget. So what would be like the 2 products you would highly recommend for people to just get started?
Well, let me ask you this. Which one of your daughters do you want to get rid of? Autumn or yeah? Huh?
Okay. Well, let's be practical.
I mean, I'm just really saying that it's so important. Which one would you take out of the mix? If you've got leaky gut syndrome, you really can't get rid of any of them. I mean, you need these products. And so you need to figure out how are you going to do it. I hate it when people, they throw it back at me and they say, well, doc, I can't afford it. Well, really, honestly, Andrea, that's not my problem. You asked me, how do I fix it? And I gave you the answer. And now you're going to say, well, which product should I take? I can't afford all of them. And this is what I used to tell people in my clinic. I go, look, I'm telling you the best way that you can fix it. And I'm telling you the way that I would fix it. And you're asking me to come up with a way that is going to, not include all these products. The problem with that is that if I say, okay, well, let's take out the super detox, for example. Let's take that out of the mix. Okay. And you don't get healthy. Your gut doesn't heal up. What are you going to do? You're going to come back to me and you're going to say, you're not going to say, well, doc, I should have taken that super detox because nothing else worked because I didn't use it. No, what you're going to do is you're going to come back and you're going to say, hey, those products that you told me to take, well, it didn't work.
Okay.
And so that's why in my clinic, I was always really pretty serious with people. And I'd say, look, this is what you need to do. So what I love about network marketing, and I'm going to be real honest with you, Andrea, what I love about products like what we have from Sizzle is that not only do they provide the products, and I'm going to say at a reasonable price, because when you compare them to medical grade nutrition products from someone else, you're going to pay the same price as what you pay here. Sure, you can find L-glutamine for less money. You can find probiotics for less money. You can find omega-3s for less money. But are they as good?
Right.
Are they as good? And so you can cut your costs that way. But again, I'm not recommending that because again, I want to get results. I ran my clinic on a results-driven basis, and I wanted to get results with every single client. And so what I would say in a case of like what I like about Sizzle is that you can go out and you can say, well, okay, so it's going to cost me, XX dollars, right? So what I need to do is I need to go out and help a couple other people who maybe can't afford to take all 7 products. Because, birds of a feather flock together, that old saying. And basically what that means is that people that have the same condition tend to hang out together because they like to whine about their condition to each other, and decide who's worse than the other one, right? You ever notice that?
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that people are a bunch of whiners, but some people tend to be. And so what I would say is go out and share this information with somebody else and say, hey, look, Andrea, I found a way to fix my health problem.
Right.
And you're going to say, oh, that's nice. Right.
No, you're going to say, how'd you do that?
Yeah. And I'm going to say, well, I haven't exactly done it yet. And I'll tell you, Andrea, maybe you could help me by help me out by doing a favor.
Mm-hmm. How's that?
Would you take a look at some of these products that we have? They might be beneficial for you as well. I know you complain about that, arthritis stuff that you have, or you complain about seasonal allergies, things like that. Would you take a look at what we got?
They have stuff for arthritis?
Yeah, we do.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll look at it.
Yeah, look at the product right here on the slide called Fucoid, and it gets rid of the pro-inflammatory biomarkers that cause inflammation, right? And super omega. So I can all of a sudden now, I can start building an income, which will make it affordable for me to be on all the products, and I don't have to skip out on the products.
Right. And you'll be ultimate healthy.
Yeah. And sometimes it might be a matter of, quit going out on Friday nights. Don't, stay home.
Right.
Cook at home rather than going to the restaurant. Instead of going to the movie, rent a movie at home. Do things like that. And you do that for a couple of weeks, all of a sudden you're going to have the money. So bottom line, Andrea, in answer to your question, I'm not going to recommend to cut back on any of the products. I'm going to tell you need all 7 of these products.
Okay.
In fact, I might throw one more in there. I might say you need the age pill too.
Yeah.
And so, but I think the age pill, you could probably get by till after you get the gut kind of healed up and things like that. But really bottom line is, folks, the point I'm trying to make is we really do need all of these products, even if you don't have leaky gut. Do you take Spectrum X every day, Andrea?
No, I don't take Spectrum X every day.
Yeah.
I take Fucoidan every day.
Fucoidan, yeah. And Super Omega.
Yep.
Yeah. And Super Detox isn't an everyday product, like Tom was talking about on the call a couple weeks. I mean, if you could do it once a month or once every couple months. Body
Right.
Shield, I think that's an everyday product.
Yeah.
Balance D, I think that's an everyday product.
Yep.
For Restore, I take that every day, but could you possibly get by without having to take that every day? Once you get the leaky gut syndrome under control, sure, you could get by with cutting back on that one.
Okay. Well, I think anyone who is, seriously seeking to reestablish their healthy gut, because at one point it was healthy, that you gave them some great information today.
There's a lot of really powerful information there, isn't there?
Yep.
All right. Well, Andrea, I'll let you close out the call and share with everybody what we're doing and what our mission is here.
Yeah, basically, folks, we try to help people optimize their health. And we work with this company, Sizzle, that is a top manufacturer of nutraceuticals, and work with a team of biochemists who create these formulations, not just putting in a little bit of what you need in there, but they put in the full amount to be effective. And then they mix it with the other things that will support the action you're trying to achieve for a synergistic effect. So that's why we're so sold, and many, I work with many doctors who are utilizing these products in their practice and loving it. So, it's just, we do have really great products. So if this is the first time you've seen a presentation of our information and our sharing of knowledge, just know that we're on Doctor's Clinic, Doc Biz with Friends, every Tuesday at noon Eastern time. And you can tune in and watch us live, make comments, happy faces, smileys, growly faces, whatever you want on there. But go ahead and do that. And anything that you've missed, like we've mentioned here today, that we just covered a whole lot about healthy fats over the last month. You can go back on that page and watch any of those lives you want to. They're all stored in there. And then if someone shared this with you, or if you saw it on one of your friends' social media pages and you want to, follow up, get more information, go ahead and contact that person and they'll be happy to help you. So have a great day.
Thanks, Andrea. Thanks for being here. Everybody, thanks for joining us today. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.